Yeah, thanks, Rika-chan. The pain's going away now. Yay, Rika-chan! Oh, hiya! Good morning to you, Lena. A good morning to you all. Rika-chan greeted us with an adorable little bow. It was infectious. Lena, Mion, and I all bowed back. Mion and I all bowed back. You're such a good kid, Rika-chan. So much better than Satoko. I glared over in her direction. Satoko was whistling while rather deliberately trying to avoid eye contact. I am the very model of a good girl. A good girl wouldn't set those nasty traps. Nothing but lies and slander. Exactly what proof— Ugh! I picked up Satoko by the back of her collar. She looks like a misbehaved cat when I do this. But a cat wouldn't be setting traps. She's much harder to deal with. I'm sorry. Try saying that. If you won't say it— I cocked my index finger on my thumb, letting it tremble as I brought it closer to Satoko's forehead. It was gonna flicker. I'm against violence! You don't even have any proof! Just so you know, my forehead flick really hurts. It can split plywood right in half. Stop! Get away from me, you beast! Don't say that in a way people will misunderstand. A small hand tugged on the back of my shirt. She's been lonely since you were gone for 2 days. Nika-chan really is just so— How could I do anything more after being told that? I gently released my grip on Satoko, who at this point was on the verge of tears. She still had her eyes clamped shut as she braced herself for the forehead flick. Doesn't bother me. You mustn't cry, Satoko. Keep on fighting? Fight-o. Nika gently petted the head of her prankster best friend. You would never guess those two are the same age. I think Satoko could learn a thing or a million from Nika-chan. Next time, set an even more amazing trap. Wait a minute. As she observed the scene, Lena's expression grew ecstatic as she began to swoon. Satoko-chan is crying. Kawaii. You can't take them home. They're so kawaii. You can't, no matter how kawaii they are. But just for a bit is fine. Is fine? Lena kept a cutesy face even as outrageous ideas spewed from her mouth. According to Mion, Lena is ridiculously weak to cute things, and she always tries to take them home. Object or person. Stealing is bad, but abducting people is even worse. Give it up. Then I can just look. Just looking. That should be fine, right? Right? Lena swooned over Satoko's crying form. If a girl ever goes missing in Hinamizawa, I'll be forced to turn Lena into the authorities. Forgive me, Lena. I'll be sure to bring you care packages when they put you away. Teacher's coming. Quickly, clean everything up. Satoko, that inkstone is yours, right? Just from Mion's single statement, the entire mood of the room shifted back to normal. The inkstone was bad, but the thumbtacks stuck to the door handle were an even bigger problem. I pulled the tape off carefully, making sure not to skewer myself. Even though Satoko was the one who set it up, everyone had to pick up after her. By the time the teacher entered the room, the bed lamb from before had been neatly tidied up. We made it in time! Rise! Attention! Mion gave out the morning commands. It's difficult being the teacher for all these different grades in one classroom. She has to teach something different to each one. But naturally she ends up spending all her time with the younger kids. Lena and Mion, being the highest grade in the class, end up mostly doing self-study. They even ended up teaching the younger kids, so it seems like they can never get to their own studies. They're actually way behind where my studies have progressed to. As a result, I'm pretty much taking over for the teacher and helping Lena and Mion with their studies.
You're a pretty good teacher, Kage-kun. Easy to understand.
Lena took a breather after finishing highlighting an important section. Teaching is making me lose confidence. It makes me aware of how shallow my understanding of the subject is. They say that to teach someone something, you need to understand it backwards and forwards. While you're teaching us, you're getting in your own practice. In contrast, this person over here is quite less fair about things. For one, isn't she supposed to be in a higher grade than me? Look, Mion, this is for your own good. If you don't take this seriously, there will be trouble later on. With these marks... It's not like I'm aiming to go on to a prestigious school. I'll be fine as long as I pick up what I need to know for the entrance exams a little at a time. Her staunch defiance was really something else. This was a different type of relax than somebody who already knows what was going on. Who already knew what was going to be on the entrance exams. God, I cannot read.
Mii-chan, Kage-kun is doing his best to teach us. We need to try hard too.
You're such a good and honest kid, Lena. I'll make sure you guys get accepted into a good school.
Thanks so much.
Especially you, Lena. Private lessons, just the two of us. Oh god.
Private lessons?
A puff of smoke shaped like a halo popped out of Lena's head. Exactly what kind of private lessons is she fantasizing about that's making her turn so red? I'd like to hear the play-by-play about that next time. While Mion was flipping through her vocabulary flashcards, she threw out a casual question. So, in the city, do you have to study this much? If you don't know at least this much, you can't get into a university. So you study just to get into a university? Well, yeah, basically. While knowing that stuff will never come in handy in the future. Out here you can get into a university as long as your attendance is good enough. Really? Study equals entrance exams. Having that basic law of the universe so easily overturned sent me into a state of shock.
That is right. There aren't really enough people around here to warrant weeding them out with an exam.
If anyone can get into a university, there's no need to be all uptight about this stuff, right? Well, that's true, but you should at least know stuff that's common knowledge. This old geezer thinks that instead of wasting time studying pointlessly, you should be spending your precious teen years doing more meaningful things. It was too profound a statement to simply laugh off. But since it was Mion, it probably didn't actually have that deep of a meaning. In place of a chime, the sound of a principal waving a handbell drifted through the classroom.
Kei-chan, we're done!
It's our wonderful lunchtime! In a complete 180 from her unmotivated state, Mion gave the commands that signaled the end of the morning period.
Kage-kun, let's have lunch.
I might have been making a very troubled face. Lena smiled brightly at me. Alright, let's eat! There seemed to be different cliques even within the class. Most of them were divided up by gender and age, but our group was different. Our ages were different and we had both boys and girls. But we weren't reserved around each other. This level of openness makes a transfer student like me pretty happy. Lena and Mion pushed their desks together so they were facing each other. At the same time, Satoko and Vika-chan were slowly lugging their desks over as well.
Keiichi-kun, hurry, hurry!
Lena waved her chopsticks in an unrefined manner, trying to hurry me along. Unless everyone was together, they wouldn't even open their lunchboxes.
Keiichi-san's lunchbox is most assuredly filled with nothing but bread crusts like some sort of
Don't believe me.
Why don't you just show it to us? Come on now.
Even though Satoko was hurling insults at me, she still wouldn't open the lid to her lunchbox until I was there. I pulled out my lunchbox swiftly and dragged my chair over to join the circle. Hey, sorry to keep you waiting.
Well then, Representative Me, please give the signal to start.
At first, this was kind of embarrassing, but I got used to it pretty fast. At this point, I probably wouldn't even open my own lunchbox if someone else was too slow. Our ages and genders may have all been different, but we were all good friends.
Itadakimasu!
The sound of our little 5-part chorus echoed beautifully throughout the classroom. Really though, I've gotten pretty used to this group made up of all girls. Of course there are other boys in the class, but they were a lot younger, so they were scared to approach me. Well, that's to be expected. Younger boys just see older boys as scary. Compare that to girls, well, at least these girls aren't picky. We put all the side dishes in the middle where everyone was free to pick at them. I thought the girls would mind sharing a meal with a guy, so I was a bit flustered joining in. However, Mio noticed that and teased me quite a bit. As the fruit of my efforts, I can now reach over and take sides from anybody's lunch.
My, isn't Sir Keiichi's lunch extravagant today?
My, isn't Madame Satoko's lunch extravagant as well? The stewed stuff has a nice look to it, rather trendy. Buying into the fight that Satoko was starting, our chopsticks locked into a cross counter, stabbing into each other's lunch.
My, how delicious!
Oh, this Taro is good. The stewed stuff is good, though. Good too, even cold. After seeing my happy face, Mika-chan's expression broke into a smile.
I saved some dinner from last night.
By the way, Satoko and Mika-chan's lunches are always the same. It seems that Mika-chan makes it for both of them every day. Mika-chan made this too? These taste like Mom's home cooking. I was honestly impressed. The carrot rosettes weren't from a mold, they were done by hand with a knife. That's not easy to do. I guess Mika-chan's just good at this sort of thing.
She's really good at stewing, laundry, and stuff like that. Amazing, right? Amazing. Mika is quite exceptional in many ways.
That's nothing for you to boast about. Lena's actually better at cooking than I am. Oh, Lena's actually better at cooking than I am. I'm sorry. I'm too many people talking at once and I'm getting confused as to who's talking.
Well, you know.
It seemed to be the topic of conversation switched to Lena, which she wasn't expecting it, making her blush and trip over her words. Kind of like me. Lena's lunch was really the star of the table. Not only did it look good, it tasted good. Everyone else pulled from Lena's lunchbox constantly.
Everyone liked this one so much before, so I made a lot this time. It's good, I hope? I hope?
I guess why they make her repeat phrases like that is because in the anime she says kana a lot, and that's kind of their way of translating it into English, I assume. She'll say like, ah, kana. Anyway, it's got high marks from me. Mion, you're taking too much. Knocking Mion's chopsticks aside, I reached out, trying to secure my own portion. Satoko and Mika-chan reached over at the same time, and a struggle ensued. Everyone shoveled in mouthful after mouthful while praising it, and Lena's lunchbox was soon empty. It was kind of bad that no one thought to leave any for Lena. But Lena seemed rather satisfied as she looked on.
How did you like it? Isn't Lena-san an extremely good cook too? Quite different from Keiichi-san.
I said that's nothing for you to boast about.